Well, hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Update. It is January 8th, 2024, and a nice sunny day today, a little on the warm side, definitely above normal, made it to the 40s, and peaceful, calm night tonight. Well, 24 hours from now, all hell's going to be breaking loose. You can see the cirrus already starting to stream in from the storm system that is over the Midwest that is causing all kinds of problems across the country right now. So I'll just show you. I was in the Pines today. I have a short video for you for my hike, just a short one. It was nice. We had a blue sky. It was a little bit warm out there, though. And toward the afternoon, we had some more of the cirrus coming in. But other than that, a nice, calm day. And certainly, we're not going to be enjoying the tomorrow night is going to be horrible. So this is the high-resolution satellite. You can see where a little bit of the snow was. I wish I made it further out east. I only made it to Deer Park. But you can see there was a little bit of snow on the ground there, though I have a feeling, yeah, it disappeared by, it was gone by the afternoon. So, yeah, those temperatures in the mid-40s probably made for kind of a messy trail situation, I'm sure, with the snow kind of, yeah, you see it's gone. So, but north of the area, it's still there, and that's the problem. We have a heavy, especially to the north in like places like Orange County, Dutchess County, and parts of Jersey. You've got a heavy snowpack there, and that is going to be a big problem for tomorrow when the rains come. So let's pull the satellite out so we get a good look at this huge storm. And, you know, these storms are just so intense and powerful. Take a look at this. You can see there's severe weather in the south. This is such a deep storm. Here's the storm right here. So we're going to draw it out all for you here. This is your low center. This is your low-level jet coming in. And there is such moisture. And you can see it's going all the way from the Pacific. So this is a perfect example of how climate change, I mean, really, people should be talking about this more. This is a perfect example of how this climate change, or should I say climate crisis or climate emergency, because that's really what it is. These warmer than normal sea surface temperatures in the Pacific that are really supercharged because of our warming, because of our own greenhouse gas emissions, which continue to climb. Like, you know, you'd think we're polluting now more than we did in the 80s, which is unbelievable. Because everybody's got to consume so much more than they need to. But this, again, sorry for the rant, but, you know, this, you can see here, this is fueling all of this. None of this is normal, by the way. We're having severe weather in the south. We're going to talk about that, too. And this is all heading our way. So let's take a look at the radar presentation of this storm right now. And actually, let me see if I can load a longer satellite loop for you so you can see what it looks like during the day. It doesn't look as impressive during the day. It looks really impressive on the infrared. We could also take a look at the water vapor. Let's do the water vapor. That water vapor. I don't understand why they don't. They used to have a good IR that wasn't colorized. Not an IR, a water vapor that wasn't colorized. It just was. I don't know what they did with it. It's because these colors just wash everything out. It really does. So you can't really, this is not even going to work. So let's go look at the radar here. I mean, you get the idea looking at the infrared. It's good enough. So let's pull this out. And I know there's a lot on the radar here that's just not showing up because these weather sites are very slow right now as people watch the storm. So in the cold air, places like Iowa, you're getting snow, lots of snow, heavy snow, even in parts of Missouri. All right, into Illinois, all right, into Kansas. But south of that, we've got this it looks like a really nasty squall line that's moving through Louisiana right now. This is this really nasty squall line. I bet there's a ton of lightning with this going into Mississippi, and again, all that rain. Now, all that moisture is heading our way. So this is what we're going to have to deal with tomorrow. Storm Prediction Center. Look at this. We've got a tornado watch in effect for Alabama, parts of Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi. Wow, this is unbelievable. Really, something to see. And you can see enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms right now in the south in January, folks. This is very, very unusual, but we're seeing this more and more as the climate warms. So here's our national map, and you can see, looking at all these all these all this storminess going on. It's even having trouble. This computer is even having trouble here handling it all. But you can see, look at all these winter storm warnings, blizzard warnings in the west. This is one storm here. This will be the storm that we're going to have to deal with, I think, on the weekend, I think. Let's go to the weather map here. So we just show you Weather Prediction Center, show you the map here. So you have this storm here, and this is the next storm that's coming in. So this next storm that's coming to the Pacific Northwest will be our Friday night and Saturday storm. And this is our tomorrow, Tuesday night into Wednesday storm here. So it's just one parade of storms after another. It's just been like this all winter. But the good news is this will help change the pattern that we've been in. So let's go back to the weather and hazards map and see if we don't have any. The good news is I don't see any severe thunderstorm warnings on here, but I do see the tornado watch on there as well. So let's take a look and see how much lightning is going on here. So you get an idea of, oh my gosh, look at that! Wow, and this is January. I mean, usually we see stuff like this in the summertime, but incredible amount of lightning activity in Louisiana right now. Absolutely insane what's going on there. Wow, look at that. So that's the kind of energy that's heading our way. And I don't know what I just did there, but let's get out of this if we can, or doesn't want to do that. All right, I got to reset this thing. You're going to have to bear with me. Computer is not cooperating with us tonight. I don't know. It just took me to the middle of nowhere. I don't know what it did. If you hit the back button, I guess that's what happens. So you can see, look at all that lightning there. It's absolutely nuts. So I got to go back to the Weather Prediction Center. All right. So let's go back here. All right. So this is your Weather Prediction Center. And QPF. Let's go to QPF. And this, go to day 2. You see it goes over us. All right. Look at that. That's a lot of rain that we're going to be getting into. All right. Excessive rain. Here's day 1. Moderate risk in the south. And look at that. We have a moderate risk of excessive rainfall just to our north and west, and we're in an SLGT. So we're going to have a lot of rain tomorrow. And that's, like I said, there's going to be some very, very bad flooding. There's so many different components with this storm that we have to watch out for. So let's go to the briefing right now from the National Weather Service here. Major coastal storm late Tuesday into Wednesday, though. Calling it more of a high-end, just prepare for more of what you would call a high-end tropical storm. Maybe even a hurricane type of conditions that we may be dealing with tomorrow night. So the high wind warning is now in effect for Long Island, New York City, and coastal Connecticut from 6 p.m. Tuesday to 6 a.m. Wednesday. Wind advisories are now in effect for the remainder of the area. Coastal flood warnings and advisories are issued. So key message is widespread moderate to major river flood threat late Tuesday into Wednesday, because all that snow is going to get washed away. This could be some of the worst flooding we've seen yet. Widespread minor to moderate urban and poor drainage flooding late Tuesday into Wednesday. Widespread moderate coastal flooding expected for much of Long Island and southeastern Connecticut coast, with Wednesday morning high tide. Locally major possible along the Great South Bay, and I'm sure our friends at South Shore 12 are going to be all over it, and while they're probably going to be ignoring all the power outages on the North Shore in the middle of the island. A widespread dune erosion and scattered overwash is expected along the ocean beachfront on Wednesday. Localized dune breaches possible. This could be the worst thing since Sandy. Strong to damaging winds for the coast late Tuesday into Wednesday. Storm conditions and high seas on all waters late Tuesday into Wednesday. So we have the 2 to 3 inch of rainfall likely, with locally 4 inches possible, and that's across the entire tri-state region. Though they say highest rainfall amounts will be in the in western portions. Strong winds, and I think they're being too conservative here. Sustained 25 to 35 miles an hour, gusts 40 to 60. I think we're going to see some 70 mile an hour wind gusts. Scattered down trees and power lines. Power outage is likely in warning area. And coastal impacts, 2 to 2.5 foot inundation above ground level in vulnerable areas. Minor to moderate coastal flooding, and the highest threat's going to be on the South Shore. Marine storm conditions, and again, it's going to be very, very bad. Yeah, you don't want to be on a boat in this. So this is the kind of deal we're seeing. 2 to 3 inches of rain is likely for us. All right, and much of this rain is going to fall between 7 p.m. Tuesday and 5 a.m. on Wednesday. They've already declared state of emergencies in New York and New Jersey for this storm. All right, and you can see we're really concerned about flooding along in Bergen County, the Passaic River, all those rivers. We could see some absolutely disastrous flooding that possibly we've never even seen before in those areas. So this is really very concerning, and this is what I've been talking about. I've been talking about it till I'm blue in the face about how serious this climate crisis is. Nobody wants to take it seriously. How many more storms like these are we going to need to take before we start? We're going to have to prepare for this, all right? We're going to have to harden our infrastructure, and we're going to have to make some controversial decisions when it comes to our consumption. And I think when it comes to these huge pickup trucks, you saw the post I put up earlier, I think we need to get them off the road. I think they need to be taken away. I'm sorry. Let them march in the streets and fly their little Trump flags. I don't care. We are in an emergency here, all right? So you can see here, a lot of people are going to lose their homes. A lot of businesses are going to be destroyed, all right? This is the coastal flooding impact, all right, that we're going to have, all right? Look at all these areas that are shaded could be affected by this. And this is going to be very, very bad, all right? Look at this, Lindenhurst especially. Look at all these. This is going to be very, very bad here. The flooding may be as locally 3 feet as possible. And, southerly winds of 30 to 40 mile an hour, gusts 55 to 60, likely for the coast late Tuesday into early Wednesday, causing numerous tree impacts and scattered power impacts. I think it's going to be more than scattered. I think we're going to see over 100,000 people lose power tomorrow night on Long Island. All right. And the next briefing will be tomorrow at 6 a.m. So there you go. Real serious issues going on here across the area. Let's go look at some observations here. And we're going to actually start with some of these observations that we have in some of these areas where they're getting the snow. You can see they're getting the 16. So there's some really cold air over here. Arizona, we've got freeze warnings. They got really cold air that's going to be coming to Arizona. But then again, look at some of these winds already. And these winds are only going to get worse here in the LLJ area. How about 68 degrees with a dew point of 66 at Slidell with a wind gust of 33. And look out over the Gulf. We got wind gusts approaching 50 miles an hour here. How about 72 with a dew point of 70? That is downright tropical and totally not normal for January, even in the South. Going to our area here, you can see we got the high wind warning in effect. We got a lot going on, so enjoy this calm before the storm. Hopefully you did get a chance to enjoy it. Right now, Islip's 27, so we are seeing some radiational cooling. I see 22 at West Hampton there. So let's go to our highs and lows for the day, because it was pretty mild today. Yeah, we got up to, let's see. That's why there's something wrong with this. It was saying max temperature or 46 at Islip. No, it's Dick Hill's 46. It's only saying 43. I think that's a mistake. It said 47 on the thing. So, see a lot of mid-40s across the area. Let's see Jersey, mid-40s as well. 46 there. The lows, 21 at West Hampton. Everyone else had lows pretty much in the mid-20s, mid to upper 20s across the area. City, of course, being warmer. So let's go back to the station plot, because Islip you saw it said 47 degrees for a high. So I don't know why it's not recording that, but we'll go back over here. You'll see high. Actually, no, 43. My mistake. It was 43. Okay. Felt warmer than that today. So let's go, and that's still above normal. We'll go and look at our climate statistics for the day before we go and look at the models here. Islip was, let's see, 2 degrees above normal on the high, 6 degrees above normal on the low. That's 5 degrees above normal for the day. Central Park was 7 degrees above normal for the day. So, yeah, it was significantly warmer than it should be, not surprisingly, because that's been the story this whole winter. So let's go to the models now and take a look at our storm. We're going to look at the GFS first, at this just supercharged storm here as it makes its way up into the Great Lakes. We're dry in the morning, but the rain starts moving in, I think, around noon. And then it gets heavy at times, and those really strong winds. You can see how tight those isobars are. Really tight. Really, really, really tight isobars there. Incredibly tight isobars. It's going to be a very strong wind. That heaviest rain is going to hit probably after 10 o'clock at night. And then it moves on out for Wednesday. We get a break for a little bit, maybe a nice day on Thursday before the next one hits us on the weekend. This is going to be just like the other storm. It's going to be very, very similar, I think. And it could be just as bad, too. So this is absolutely crazy to get back-to-back storms like this. Really absolutely nuts. So let's go look at this on the eastern U.S. again view here. So you can see again how wrapped up this thing is. It's just crazy how tight those isobars are. And then here comes the next one for the weekend. And there, between those two storms, we're going to take a look at the total accumulated precip here that the GFS is putting here. So you get an idea of how much rain is going to fall here. Between these two storms, we're going to see 5 to 7, probably 5 to as much as locally 7 inches of rain. We're going for our wettest January on record here, it looks like. Now, snowfall, you can see all the snowfall. It's well to the north and the west there. All right, well to the north and the west. So it's going to be rain for us. So let's go and take a closer look at, get that off there. Let's go and look at some of the more short-range models here. And we will start with the HRRR, and we'll start with the dew points and wind flow so it gives you an idea of what's going on. So dry air tonight. See, dry air tonight. Winds start becoming suddenly light. And the winds are fairly light earlier on, but then they start picking up as we get toward the afternoon. And here comes that LLJ. Look at how strong those winds are. And look at all that humidity coming in for tomorrow there. And then it moves away by the afternoon, but it's still going to be pretty windy even in the afternoon, though not as dangerously windy, but still windy, as you see there with the dew points dropping. Air temperatures. So air temperatures tonight, probably the temperatures are probably going to have these clouds roll in, so I don't think the temperatures are going to drop too much more. Probably mid-20s, though the Pine Barrens might be colder tomorrow. It starts off cool, and then temperatures increase throughout the day, so it starts off in the low 40s, then rise through the 40s, into the 50s overnight. Maybe someone even hits 60 degrees around midnight, and then it pushes away. And then Wednesday, we'll have temperatures in the mid to upper 40s behind this storm. But before we can get to this, we've got to deal with the storm. So let's go and take a look at what the radar presentation looks like on the HRRR. So you can see the rain's going to start right around probably noonish, I guess. And it's going to get heavy pretty quickly, actually, into the afternoon. You'll see that heavy rain there, the yellows there. And then there's more yellows here coming in, a whole bunch more. So a lot of heavy rain overnight. And then the last of the rain probably would move out before sunrise on Wednesday. But there could still be another shower, though, later on in Wednesday. But you can still see it stays windy. Look at how tight those isobars are. So if we look at the total accumulation on the total rainfall accumulation on this, you'll see everybody is going to get at least 2 to 3 inches on this, and locally possibly 4, because the models could always underestimate all of that. All right. Let's now look at the wind, and we're going to first start with the 850 so we can show you the LLJ, which is going to really strengthen as it moves toward our area. This is around 10 o'clock, all right? So this is 850. Look at that. You got winds up there over 100 miles an hour at 850 MB. That is crazy stuff. That is crazy. 850 HPA, I should say. But that is absolutely insane kind of wind. So if you have a thunderstorm, it could pull that wind down. And then you can see once the LLJ passes, it'll be breezy, but we won't have the same kind of. This is one hell of an LLJ, and let me just change this region so you can take a look at what the whole LLJ looks like. Look at that. There it is. Show you the whole thing. That's coming right from the tropics. You can see right there. Right from the tropics. So this is going to be prepare for a high-end tropical storm for tomorrow night. That's what we're going to get. Even though it's not technically a tropical storm, it's going to be like one. And it's, I guess the best term to use is atmospheric river, because that's what it is. So the same kind of storms that California got, we're getting them now. For the first time ever. I don't ever remember an El Nino doing that. It's usually the West Coast that sees this, but this El Nino is just so off the wall that it's causing this. Because, again, that El Nino is supercharged by climate change. So let's look at a few more other models, because there are way scarier models to look at, and I think we're going to go to the NAM for that. So let's go to the NAM 12 here. This is the NAM 12, and again, this is the 850. All right, look at that. This is even stronger here. I mean, and you can see where the thunderstorms are, right there. All right, so now we're going to move this to the surface winds. All right, this is the surface wind here, and look at that. Look at that. This is sustained winds, right? Not gusts. All right, so the worst of it right around 11 midnight or so. And that is going to really cause a lot of power outages. And I think we're going to see a lot of problems on the Long Island Railroad. Expect, if you plan on commuting on Wednesday, I would suggest you take the Babylon branch or plan on it, because the Bain line may not be running. It's probably going to be a lot of poles down and stuff I'll be surprised because they have not hardened the infrastructure on the main line, and I think it's going to fall like a deck of cards in this storm. I really do. So let's go look at the radar presentation on the NAM. So this is the NAM 12 now, all right? So we'll go to the tighter one in a minute here. It's the 0Z run. So luckily we do have the 0Z run. So you can see the rain begins, though. It doesn't look like it's as heavy. The NAM kind of holds it off until later and brings the heavier rain in later, like 5 or 6 o'clock. Excuse me, like after 10 o'clock or so. And it like has a little line, a squall line of thunderstorms there that could form. And we may even see some severe thunderstorm warnings issued for this. Yeah, let me go back to the Storm Prediction Center because we got to look at tomorrow. Move this to tomorrow's convective outlook. This is tomorrow's convective outlook. It does keep it to the south, but you can see that enhanced risk now uncovers less. So we're going to see more severe weather tomorrow more in the southeast tomorrow. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So let's see what the NAM has for total accumulated rainfall. And again, it's got that around that 2-inch mark. So now we're going to move this to the, let's go look at the FGen, which is another thing we could use to show you the heavy rain. And you can see, this kind of will show you when the heavier rain moves in. You can see one wave comes in the afternoon, but the big wave, it actually is a big wave right around 0. It's interesting how it lags. But there could actually be a bigger wave right around 6, 7 o'clock, perhaps. It's interesting how it's lagging behind there like that. Let's go to the GFS on this. GFS also agrees on that as well. So there could be some really heavy rain with that. Really heavy rain. We can go now look at the 850 FGen, which is lower now, and I'll use the NAM again. So the 850 has a little bit lower because look at this. Look at that. It's like, that's crazy right there. That's just nuts. So let's go to the NAM 3. We'll go ahead and put this radar presentation on again, and we'll do the radar presentation first. So here's your radar presentation again. So it's mainly steady, moderate rain, and then the NAM brings the heavier stuff in later. And then really, you can see there could be a lot of thunderstorms here. Looks like a really severe thunderstorm right there over Long Island right there, moving through in the wee hours of the morning there. All right. So yeah, this is pretty frightening stuff. We'll go to this presentation now. All right, so you can see this presentation. Actually, you can see there's like almost like a break there, and then the heavier stuff comes in later. But this is, look at that purples. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't rule out we could see some hail tomorrow night. Late tomorrow night. Yeah, I wouldn't rule that out either. We're going to see some severe thunderstorm warnings issued with these cells, I think, especially that final line there, because you have a really big difference in air mass there. So many things to talk about with this, so many hazards to talk about. We've kind of gone over the storms and the wind a little bit, but I actually want to look at a few more models when it comes to the wind. We'll go ahead and look at the European model now, all right? So we're going to look at the European model with the wind here, and we'll go over here, look at our 850 wind. All right, so we're going to first start with our 850 wind. So you can see European agrees. Now, once we get done with this storm, I'll just show you the second one. This one's not going to go far enough out. I have to run to the 12Z, but I just want to show you the second storm here. We get the same thing again with that storm. So that storm's going to be bad too. All right, so wind, rain, total accumulated precip. We'll go. All right, so this is from the first storm. You could see 2 to 3 inches, and then we get the second storm. Look at that. That's crazy. That's nuts right there. All right, this is unheard of stuff. We're in completely uncharted territory. We've never been here down this road before, and we're going to go down a lot of roads we've never been down before as the climate crisis escalates. Keep driving that Ram, asshole. Keep driving that lifted Ram because you're killing us, and I would just love to be the president and take your little Ram away. You know, that's what the president should be doing. You know, but he ain't gonna do it. So you can see that 2 to 3 inch amount. This is the icon, by the way. We're gonna look at the winds on the icon as well. So here are the winds on the icon as well. You can see, look at that. It's just incredible to see. So let's go and shift gears now and look at another site. We're going to go to the Ventus Sky site, and this will help us visualize the wind a little bit better. So let's go to the wind wind speed first. We're going to go to the sustained wind speed. So we're going to take it to tomorrow at 6 o'clock. All right. So let's go above the ground. Let's go just 100 meters above the ground. All right, that's not too bad. Let's go 250 meters above the ground. Yeah, we're already sustained at 50 miles an hour tomorrow. This is the HRRR that we're looking at here. Model. Let's move it over to 9 o'clock. You can see the winds start increasing. Sustained winds 250 meters up of 80 miles an hour. So you're talking hurricane force. Let's move it over to 11 o'clock. Look at that. Sustained winds of 250 meters above the ground. Yeah, over hurricane force. Moving it over to Wednesday here. Yeah, sustained winds continue over. It's still going to be a duration. These strong winds are going to be with us for probably at least a 6-hour window. 67 miles an hour. These are sustained. These are above the surface. But these have the potential to come down in a thunderstorm. That's why I'm showing you this. Now we're going to move to the surface winds here, or go back to 10 meters here. Because you can see these are sustained winds around 30 miles an hour. But let's put in the wind gusts here because this is where it gets frightening. 65 miles an hour. This is midnight tomorrow night. 65 mile an hour wind gusts here. 66. Yeah, we're going to be gusting to close to hurricane force, if not over it. Let's go to the 11 o'clock here. You can see, again, 11 o'clock. It seems like it peaks a little more, but you see it's still going. 8 o'clock. It's not as bad as 8 o'clock. The worst is going to be later at night. So the good news is the worst hits when most people will be home. That's the good news about all of this. But these are some incredible winds that we're looking at here with this LLJ. Temperatures obviously going to be very warm when this LLJ hits. You can see here 50s. Temperatures are just going to rocket up, possibly close to 60 degrees. Very humid as well. Really incredible amounts of humidity that we're going to be dealing with. And then we have the seas, which we're going to have 20-foot waves breaking off the shore here. You can see here, and there's going to be a lot of flooding. That southerly wind is going to ram that water right into those South Shore beaches, and it's going to be devastating, which is why they keep saying, build up, you're just throwing money away. It's only going to get washed away. We are fighting a losing battle. If you love your South Shore beaches, I suggest you enjoy them as much as you can, because they're not going to be around in maybe even 5 years from now. It's going to look completely different like you've never seen before as we deal with more and more of these kind of storms. See, 20 foot there. That's insane right there. That's just insane waves. And this is just looking at the Ventus Sky site. Let's now go to the windy.com site, because when you look at that, it looks even scarier because we got more models to look at. And some of those are the HRRR is one of the tamer models when it comes to these wind gusts. So let's go now and look at the European model. All right, I'll move this over. And these are the wind gusts here. Already at 11 a.m., we're already seeing some gusts. But it gets a lot worse as we head toward 9 o'clock. Here we go. Wind gusts, 54 miles an hour. Along the waters, you got wind gusts, 58 miles an hour. 2 a.m. This is when it really starts picking up here. I want to move this to noon. Can we get to midnight? 11 p.m. I don't know if it's going to let us do it. No. All right. It's not going to let us. All right. So it seems like the worst seems to occur after midnight, because look at what happens here. We got wind gusts to 66 miles an hour. Queens, 62. Everybody, look at this. The purple area, hurricane force, 73. Could definitely get some 73 mile an hour wind gusts on the South Shore. This is 2 a.m. here, 4 a.m. Look at how this really wraps up here. So, again, 71 miles an hour off the South Shore. It's 74. We're going to see a lot of tree damage because you have a lot of soaked roots. The storm is going to do everything. I mean, it's going to cause floods. It's going to weaken the ground. More trees are going to come down. And look at offshore. We've got 90 mile an hour wind gusts. Some of these buoys are going to gust. We could see an 100 mile an hour wind gust at some of these buoys. I can't rule it out. And this is the European model. So it finally dies down as we get toward the morning. But this is truly, truly frightening stuff. Now we're going to look at the waves on this European model. So get ready for this. So here we are, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. We already got 11 feet, but it's going to get way worse than that. Let's move this over to midnight. And we got waves of 15 feet, and then we got waves almost 20 feet offshore there. And these waves, and you know, we're going to see storm surge from this. Look at that. It gets even worse, over 20 feet waves as you get toward 3 a.m., 5 a.m. Finally, I think we've passed the worst of it. But the oceans are still going to be rough even on Wednesday. We're still going to have high seas across Long Island. It's going to be quite something to see for sure. And just to let you know, the sea surface temperatures, we'll put this in here to get an idea of the sea surface temperature, very much above normal temperatures here. And this when you keep getting these storms, it's just going to keep the water warmer than it's supposed to be. So that's the thing. So now we're going to go back to the wind gusts, and we can switch models on this site. So let's go to the NAM, which is the frightening model. All right, so because I was kind of showing you this last night, and the NAM is even scarier. We've got, all right, 58. That's not too bad. That's bad, but maybe the NAM's, oh yeah, this is where it gets scary. So around 1 a.m., New York Harbor, we have winds gusting to nearly 90 miles an hour. Jersey Shore, 92 miles an hour. Central Nassau, 73 miles an hour. So this is going to be one hell of an event to see. And honestly, I don't want to be out in it, but I might have to show it to you, even though I don't want to be out in this, because it's going to be so remarkable and so amazing to see in January. It's notable that we need to film this and document these disasters that are happening. 84 mile an hour wind gusts. So this NAM is truly, truly frightening. Frightening. And I think the NAM can predict the waves too as well. So I think the NAM has a wave. Let's see. I don't know if it does or it's just going to go back. Nah, it's just going to go back to the European. But that NAM is truly, truly, truly frightening. And when looks like when this line sets up, it's going to be something. So we can actually put this rain thunder map. I think. Let's see if we can use that with the NAM. Yeah, we can. All right. So kind of visualize this line that's going to kind of come through here and bring these really strong winds. And I think it's going to be that squall line is what you're going to have here, and there's going to be thunder and lightning with it. The thunderstorms. All right, this kind of shows some thunderstorms here. Yep, they're right around midnight there. It's showing thunderstorms. So, yeah, we could see some thunderstorms. I really fully expect we will see some severe thunderstorm warnings issued tomorrow night. This is something that we've never, ever seen before in January. So, this is going to be really bad. So, flipping back to the Euro, which we're on right now, let's go to the next storm, because we're going to get another one of these Friday night. So let's go to Friday night now. Wind gusts. Here we go. Friday night storm. And look at this. Friday night. Here we go. 2 in the morning. We got winds gusting over 50 miles an hour again. So we're going to get 2 of these, and it's going to be very warm too, as you see. So this January is just so unusual. This is going to be just absolutely incredible stuff that I don't think I've ever seen in my life. Most of us have never seen it in our lives. But this is the consequence of continuing to burn fossil fuels like it's going out of style. I understand EVs are not a solution, but we got to get rid of these pickup trucks, SUVs, whatever. You just get rid of them. It should be illegal to own them. Unless you actually need it for your business and whatever, you should not be allowed to have one. No, absolutely not. They need to be taken away. And we need to and we also need to mandate public transportation use. We need to do a lot of stuff, but people in this country are so in love with big oil and they're so dumb and brainwashed. Especially in the United States. In Europe, they get it a lot more. They're much more with it in Europe. In this country, in Canada, North America, just a lot of dumb buffoons out there that just don't realize how serious of a mess that we're actually in. And I'm going to keep calling them out when I can, because I'm fed up with it. I really am. And you see them on the news crying that their little enclaves are getting flooded on the water. Well, get used to it, snobs, because it's only going to get worse. All right? It's only going to get worse from here. It's not going to get better. All right? There you go. This is what we got going on, folks, and this is the next storm again. So in that next storm, well, we'll take one storm at a time. So let's go back to the Tropical Tidbit site, and we'll talk a little bit about the weather after this storm. All right? So once the storm passes and we're recovering, cleaning up from the power outages, which I'm sure are going to be plenty, the tree damage, the flooding, and all that stuff. And we're only going to have to do it all over again on Friday night and Saturday. But between that, we'll go over the weather from that. So let's do that. So we'll go to we'll just keep it on the GFS here and show you the dew points and wind flow once we get done with this storm here. So, all All right, so there's your storm. Drier air comes into the picture. Dryer's with us then Friday. It looks like we get almost a little push there of colder air. Try to come into the picture before the next storm comes in. And it's that next storm that when it comes in, it's going to pull down the much colder air. And you'll see I might just pull that out. It's going to pull down the much you see it there Sunday. That's when we're going to start getting into some Arctic air finally. So we have to suffer. We have to go through absolute tropical storm hell before to basically get to winter. Temperatures, obviously, we're going to be above normal this week. Staying above normal Thursday. Friday, still above normal. Saturday, here's that bump of warm air with that next storm. And then Sunday, I mean, we'll go from having a high possibly near 60 Saturday morning to Sunday not making it above freezing once this front moves through. So that's the big change that's going to be occurring with this storm here. Let me just briefly go over skies, and I'll just use the RGM for this. And, we don't have that full 0Z run in, so we'll just go to the 18Z. We'll go over skies. Obviously, tomorrow, maybe a little bit of sun early in the morning, and probably maybe a very red sunrise. Red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. And then you're going to have clouds for 2, obviously. And then Wednesday, we may get some breaks of sun in the afternoon. Thursday should be a very nice day. It should be mostly sunny, hopefully, that day. And then Friday, well, it's as far out as we got. And I don't really want to speak anymore about the clouds right now. Let's pull this out to the CONUS view, and we'll just show you the GFS and show you, again, the colder air that's going to be coming in here. So once you get done with this, you see all that warmth there. So, and that warmth kind of sticks around, and then you can see there's the colder air that's going to come on in. That next storm, that's the next one right there, the next one for the weekend. After it really, look at that, it's dark. I mean, it's going to be way above normal. We're going to probably break record highs early Saturday morning with the storm. And then once that pulls out, we go from that. You can see the cold air. The heart of the cold air goes in the center of the country, but eventually does make its way toward us. And you'll see that the following week we'll get into some colder weather, though nothing record-breaking as far as the cold goes. We're always breaking warm records and not cold records, and that again is another part of the climate crisis. So this is what we got going on. This is what we're looking at. So I'll keep you updated with the storm tomorrow, obviously, and maybe even be out in it, because to tell you the truth, this is the News 12 webpage. I'm going to be scared being in this place because I can't see what's going on out there. And a big storm, that really scares me. So I may have to be out and find some place to watch the storm. You can see here, this is, of course, South Shore. South Shore beaches face, it's all about the South Shore. Again, there's going to be a lot of power outages, and there's also going to be flooding in the middle of the island as well. So, again, wherever there's heavy rain, there could be flooding. Though, again, I think the worst of that flooding impact is going to be upstate, and this is the big concern that we're going to have when we look at all this rain that we're going to get, and it's not going to be good at all. So, actually, I'll just end it with this before we do this. So, let's go back to this site here. We'll go to rain. So this gives us a high risk. So, we'll go to next 3, rain accumulation. All right, so next 3 days, this is the European here that we're looking at here on the windy.com. Yeah, 2.5 inches of rain on Long Island, and this could definitely be more than that. And then 2.5 upstate in these areas here. That's going to be where it's really bad. And then, I don't think we're going to cover next 5. Oh yeah, this is with the next storm now. So we could see as much. All right, this doesn't cover the whole storm, so I can't show it to you. But this is going to be a lot. Now we can visualize the rainfalls on a lot of these. So we can look at the icon here. This is the icon storm total, and you can see it has some of the heavier rain upstate there, 3+ inches. NAM. Let's see NAM. This is the NAM next 60 hours, 2.44. You can see where there's heavier precipitation on it, and it's likely that the heaviest stuff is going to occur, unfortunately, because you have that south wind ramming into the mountains up there. That's going to have the heaviest rain. So we're going to have devastating flooding in Orange County. It's going to be some of the most devastating flooding perhaps the state has seen yet. This storm is going to be a very, very costly storm, and it will have some deaths with it too as well. So, this is what we deal with as we deal with this ongoing climate crisis. So let's pray for us. I pray I don't lose power, but I'm prepared to, and you should too. So prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But right now, I think all we need to do is just pray for a miracle. that this stops, but hopefully something will happen that will put a stop to this and put a stop to our insatiable consumption, you know, of fossil fuels and insatiable emissions that we put out in this country. Between the leaf blowers, between the big SUVs, the pickups, we need to be improving mass transit. There should be mass transit everywhere. People should be mandated to use mass transit at least one day each week. We need to take this a lot more seriously than we're taking it. But your freedom ends when you start destroying the planet. That's what I'm going to leave it at. So have a good night.